Hey, good morning, everybody. Very happy to be here. Morning US time or afternoon here, my time in London. I'm joined by an amazing speaker today, our last webinar of the year, and we'll talk about the new Tableau migration app and also how Wisdom joins Tableau into facilitating Tableau server to Tableau cloud migrations. Adiaskar, how you doing?
Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Very good. Do you want to tell the audience where you calling from today, what your role at Tableau Salesforce is, and and then you just hold a few more minutes about doing the entire pitch about the migration app.
Sure. Thank you, everybody, for attending. It's great to have you here. My name is Adiaskar Cisneros, and I'm a senior product manager at Tableau at Salesforce. I'm currently, by coincidence, in Seattle, where the Tableau headquarters are, and I'm happy to be sharing the stage with Patrick to tell you more about the Tableau migration app and how you can also take advantage of Wisdom's products to complete the picture of your move from Tableau Server to Tableau Cloud.
Well, very nice to have you around today. And yes, I'm Patrick Perrier. I'm the head of product management here at Wisdom, and I'll be very happy to share the stage with Adi Askar and do live demonstrations of the migration app. So for whoever wants to see how it works in real life, I'll do a real Tableau server to cloud migration, and then I'll do another live migration after that. I'll use Wisdom to do complete regression testing between server and cloud. Now, just before you start, please feel free to ask your questions at any time. We'll have a look at them at the end. But if there's any questions, Adiaskar and myself will be very happy to answer them. And of course, this webinar is recorded, so it will still be available on LinkedIn later on our website, and I believe we'll be sending the link to some of you separately. Now, I said it was our last webinar of the year. In case you missed it, a couple of weeks ago, I did a webinar with Matthew Miller, Ewald Hoffman, and Ross Helenius, where we talked about a brand new innovation for Tableau, which is Tableau version management, something we've done with some co-innovation with the Tableau team. Yes, you can't see the webinar. I'm sure Jad will put the URL in the chat. But yes, great webinar to not miss. And for those of you who like QR codes, keep your phone around. There's 3 more QR codes coming up. Agenda for today, we'll try to stick to the half an hour. A couple of slides about who we are. You may have heard of us. Wisdom, we've been hosting DataFam earlier this year in London. The last 3 TC conferences, we've been around for 3 to 4 years now. So a few words about what we do. And then we'll jump back to Adi Askar, where he gave a bit of background about the migration app and how we ended up working together. And then, like I said, I'll do a live demo of the app, followed by the problem, right? You want to do a migration. Testing is important. There's a lot of things to test for a lot of good reasons. A couple of slides about a few tips here, followed by another live demo of the Wisdom for Tableau software that we have here, and a very special offer. You want to stay until the end of this webinar. We have a very, very special offer for people who want to use Wisdom for this kind of project. Okay, Wisdom, who we are? Well, in 2 words, analytics, governance. Okay, 4 words for Tableau. So for those of you who are concerned about automated validation of content, lifecycle management, working between sites and environments and version control, like I said earlier, continuous monitoring of your Tableau content, data sources and workbooks, and Tableau Pulse. And you want to make sure everything is right. You want people to trust the content. We have solutions to help you with this. So for those of you who wants to unlock the awesome and new AI potential in Tableau, so Tableau Pulse and agents as well. You want to eliminate the distrust. You want to make sure that you boost the adoption, and some automated testing will work. Would be very useful. We work a lot with regulated industries such as GXP in for pharma, or HIPAA and SOX, and others. For those of you where governance to comply with regulations is important, again, complete automated testing and monitoring of regulations management is where Wisdom can help. Scale your analytics. The topic of today: reduce costs and increase value when doing projects like a migration. And overall, I said it already, your data governance strategy by certifying content automatically and dynamically, for instance. So there's a number of ways that Wisdom can work with you for the different challenges that doing analytics at scale and enterprise-wide really means. Which brings me to the topic of today: migration. So when it's time to do a migration, you want to make sure that it's done smoothly. You want the user experience to be great. You want to do it under budget, right? It's not always something that you want to do, or you want to do very often. So again, to automate the testing, to do it at scale and to do it cheaply is really important. And perhaps even more important is to prove the success of the migration by documenting in full transparency the validation process. So when you're done with the migration, you want to prove it's been done technically, and then you want to prove you've done the validation to as much content as necessary, not only a small subset, because testing is not really interesting and it's time consuming and users want to do something else. So have the evidence, and the documentation of the validation process is key here. And if you are to catch errors, well, then you can tell your users we've identified problems, we're fixing them. At the end of the day, everybody's reassured when they know that they go to a new platform and this new platform has been validated before users find any problems. So being proactive instead of reactive. Adi Askar, back to you now. So um, please tell us a bit more about the migration app and how we ended up working together.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Well, first of all, thanks again for your attendance to everybody. Tableau is always looking for issues that our customers face and how we can remove those barriers. So we first released the migration SDK to provide a set of libraries for applications to be able to transfer content from Tableau Server to Tableau Cloud, for example. And a lot of our partners took advantage of that. So our idea was to provide the migration SDK to make it easier for other people to automate, to provide more automation, therefore make it a little bit easier for our customers to use those services. But we realized that there are some other customers where they don't have either the technical skills or the budget or neither to hire a consultant and do that migration. We're talking about smaller deployments. So what we figured, just as the migration SDK is open source, we figured we could seed the community instead of just waiting for the community to laterally create an application, that we would get that started with a simple application to migrate content between Tableau platforms, but specifically looking at the use case of the smaller deployments that have a Tableau server implementation, maybe a physical machine in a closet or some virtual machine that they don't even know where they run. And I've talked to customers that are in that situation, and provide a simple tool to transfer all of that all of that content, and so they can start taking advantage of the benefits of Tableau Cloud. So we've done that, and the application is available, again, open source, so it's no cost for our customers. And then we reached out to our good partners at Wisdom, told them what we were doing, and they jumped at the opportunity, as Patrick is going to explain. to complement that, right? And I appreciate Wisdom's flexibility because what they've done is something completely new. And again, you're going to hear about it from Patrick, and they have even a special offer that that Patrick is going to explain. But we appreciate it because once you migrate, uh, the application automates that part, and you don't have to worry about how you're going to move your content. But best practices, you still need to make sure that everything went well, and you need to verify that everything is working as you expect. And that's where Wisdom came to complement our functionality to provide our customers a whole all around solution that I think is going to be very convenient for everybody. So, Patrick, back to you. Again, very excited to be here and for you to show everybody what you've done.
Awesome, awesome, Adiaskar. Thank you. On the screen here, I said there would be a few QR codes. On the screen here is a QR code straight to Adiaskar's blog with a lot more background. With these scenarios, it supports the things it supports less or not support at all. So again, and the download location, obviously, of this migration app, everything is under that blog, the QR code on your screen right here. So let me go through a real demonstration here. So I am on my Tableau server, and we see here that this is the Tableau server I'm logged on to, where I have a bunch of users. I have a couple of groups with different users inside of these groups. And if I go to a project, again, it's a small deployment here, but it will support the scale. I have here some data sources, and I have a couple of hundreds of workbooks. So if I go to finance, for instance, here, you see that I have 100 workbooks. Each workbooks have 10 different views. So I have 200 views, some data sources, users, and groups. And what I'll do is I will migrate that to my Tableau Cloud, where, no cheating, I have only a couple of users who are the site admins. So the users have not been migrated. I don't have the groups, and I don't have this project I was showing you before with the 2,000 views actually. So yes, nothing's been migrated just yet. Now, you go on the Tableau blog, Tableau website, you download the app. Once the migration app has been downloaded, it supports Windows and Mac, by the way, but this is the Windows version. And you simply unzip it, and then you launch the migration app.exe. Now, once you've launched the exe, you end up on the screen right here, where I'll just minimize all that, where you have to give the URL of your Tableau server and your Tableau Cloud. And then you need to supply the personal access token. The personal access token, if you've not done this before, once you're logged on, you go to your account settings, and then you see here that you can create personal access token. You give a name, and then it's going to give you a secret key. So everything you need to do is right here. Once you fill up this screen, and there's a couple of things you can do with mapping users, but it's as simple as this: source, target, and a bit of secret keys. So obviously you can authenticate, and then you start the migration. And then this front end will call the SDK in the background that Adiaskar was talking about, and you'll see that it's migrating my users as we speak. So here we go. My users have been migrated. It migrated the groups. It was a bit quick because I only have a couple, and I was going to go ahead with the different projects, followed by the data sources and the workbooks. Now, I've done this scenario before. Because I have those 2,000 views, it will take about 2 minutes and a half to migrate that kind of volume, to give you any indication. So while this is running in the background, and I'll come back to that in a few minutes, I'll just continue with a couple more slides. Okay, so you're planning for your migration, and I have a good ebook with tons of steps to share at the end of this webinar. But the migration is running in the background. How do you ensure the success that everything worked well. Because the reality is, for some of you, is after you lift and shift that content into your Tableau cloud, you may have to do a few things around authentication. Maybe some of you use gateways that will need a bit of configuration. Maybe some credentials will need to be put back in some data sources and workbooks and so on. So there'll be, a small number of manual actions to be done after the lift and shift. This is where and why you want to test as much as possible. Detect errors proactively. Detect before going to production and somebody finds a problem in a few days, weeks times, because it's not content that's used every day. Now, users don't like to test, right? So when you do a project, and I've done hundreds in my career, there'll be some people allocated a very little amount of time to test during the project, and then sometimes you try to involve the end users to tests, and they either end up not testing or not testing everything, because again it's boring and they have a daytime to do sometimes. So you want to enhance productivity by letting people do their daytime job and not do things like testing all the time. Now, proving the success is another reason why you want to automate the testing and test at scale. You will have some managers, and if some of you are coming from the regulated industries with auditors, they're not going to say, "Oh, I accept your email to tell me that we've tested stuff." They'll say, "Prove, show me your reports. Prove to me what has been tested." And to be transparent and give detailed reports is important. And all of these things, being proactive by detecting stuff and letting users do their things and prove the success, at the end of the day, it will reduce your costs a lot. Time involved in a technical project like this one, and just secure the entire process and giving people trust and confidence, like I said earlier, that this new platform works really well. Now, before I go into wisdom for Tableau, let's go back to my server. Here we go, 2 minutes 47. Completed successfully, and it went ahead and migrated all of my content. And there's a bit of log file here for the technical process in this manifest.json. So I recommend you have a look at this file. Okay, so to demonstrate that there was no cheating, if I go back to my Tableau cloud now, I have a bunch of users I did not have before with those groups, and I have this new project with my data sources, finance and sales. And if I go here we go, the hundreds workbooks of that projects all have been migrated just now, 3:47 p.m. in the UK. Now it's time to validate all this. Now, you could go side by side, you could go in finance and open achievement engagement, open the dashboard. You do the same thing on your Tableau server here, and then side by side you could decide to check if the dashboard looked the same. You could decide to check if a font have changed or formatting, if there's any database connectivity errors, or all the worksheets working as expected. This would be extremely time consuming, and like I said, this workbook has 10 worksheets times 200, that's 2,000 worksheets to test. It is not technically, it's not humanly possible. And to absolutely be sure that every single numbers and every color formatting change have worked as expected, plus the database connectivity, row level security, all of these things. With Wisdom, you would achieve this with very few clicks. So I'm in Wisdom for Tableau here, and what we call that is a cross-environment testing. So I'll do demo migration app. And what Wisdom is going to do, or what you have to do in Wisdom, first of all, is let me just do this super quickly. The demo effect here. I'm wearing my Christmas jumper to so people are in a good mood even before I start. Right, let me go back to Wisdom. Here we go. So this brand new project I've created, which is demo the migration app. I'm going to say, okay, I want to compare between my Tableau server and what do I want to test? Well, maybe I want to just test everything, right? I want to test all of these, hundreds and hundreds, 2,000 views if it's what I want to do. Or you can decide to do, I want to test these 4 or 5 most important ones for some reason. So there we go, I want to test 50 views. What do I want to test? Well, you can test 11 different things, even 12 if you decide to test if the data can refresh and validate the data connectivity. And I'll show you example of all of these different tests that we do here in the complete evidence. And then I want to compare with my Tableau Cloud. And we're done. Server, what I want to test? Tableau Cloud, because I've defined the 2 environments. And then I go ahead and run the tests. On the side of my worksheets and the data and the complexity, I'm testing each worksheet in about 15 seconds-ish to give you an idea, compared to, imagine how long it will take. We hear sometimes it takes hours to test one dashboard, never mind everything behind. So we're talking here seconds. And once Wisdom has run, what you get in the end is a report like this one. I'll just make this a little bit bigger. And here you see, in this example, I tested 17 different views. 2 of them have failed. So you have the evidence of the date and time, how long it took, everything that we've tested with success or not. And when there is a problem, which is even more important, we give you the full detail as to where there's a problem to help you with the troubleshooting even. So transparent, to say we've tested, we discovered problems, and then you fix the problems, you test again, and everything is green, right? So that's very good. So you see here that, visually speaking, the workbook on Tableau server versus the workbook in Tableau Cloud look different. And this is where we'll even highlight in red where there's any visual differences. So in this case, the data is different. So of course, the numbers are different and we can track it. But the curve are different. If the font or the colors or the size or anything that visually change pixels, this is where automatically Wisdom will give you the full details. If we deep down into other errors, well, we see that I have a worksheet called Profit, and obviously Profit is the source behind this tile right here. We see that I have problem with my data. So we also validate the data behind the worksheets. And we'll give you a little preview of what the data we found before on Tableau Server and now on Tableau Cloud. And we'll even give you the entire data set of the worksheet so you can do further analysis if you wish. But you see here, no identical rows. And I said we validate 11 different things. I validate if the columns in my data set of the worksheet is the same. Do I have the same type of columns? If I have filters, which I'm sure you do, the filters, are they still around with the same types, with the same values? And now we're detecting one more problem. In the worksheet Profit, I have an action on state, and we see that I don't have the same values before and after. So again, there's a data problem. Maybe that worksheet is different, using a different data connection, a different data source. There's something going on that the data is different, which then affected the look and feel. And we do more things around parameters and worksheets. So basically, 11 different tests for each worksheet. In this case, about 15 seconds each to test these 11 different things. Very comprehensive and complete report, detailed report at the end to give to your management, to the auditors, and whoever is asking. So that was Wisdom for Tableau in a number of things. Now, like I said before, Wisdom is about Tableau governance, and we do a lot of things such as performance testing, validating the accuracy of the data, security, such as row-level security, regression testing, which is what I've just shown you now, and the overall user experience. We call that functional testing. The performance of opening dashboards, navigating between filters, making sure the filters are not only fast, but work and return the correct data, and so on and so on. So complete experience testing for your continuous monitoring when you're in production. And for those who like lifecycle management, promoting between different sites, Version management, like I said, we released these new capabilities a few weeks ago, something we worked with Tableau. And once you've done a test, based on the success of the test, you can choose to certify or decertify Tableau content. This is something we're really proud and patent pending. So certification, alerting the relevant people and users via certification, data owners and content creators via Slack and Microsoft Teams and emails and other means. And everything you do is always completely documented and detailed for full transparency. So what I've demonstrated today is only the regression testing part of things. And now this brings me to the next slide, where again, take your phone out, a new QR code. We're very happy to share this offer we created. Thanks to working with Adiascar, the team, and the migration app, where we offer for each users of Wisdom who wants to do validation, like I've just demonstrated today, unlimited regression tests. So you can test as many workbooks as you want, as many worksheets as you want. And for that, based on a monthly subscriptions of $500 per Wisdom user per month. You can do everything directly using a credit card. We'll even offer you a 7-day free trial with no obligations, and you can cancel at any time. So for anybody here today who would like to try Wisdom, scan a QR code, go on our website, register. We will only charge you after the trial is concluded, and this will be valid for 1 month, and it's recurring every month, and you can sell at every time. So you can fully test Wisdom for free for 7 days. So have a look at our offer for unlimited use of regression testing. Before we go, I promise you an ebook. This is the final QR code. Oh, no, that's not even true. There's one more. But scan this QR code if you would like to see at our free, of course, ebook. We documented pages and pages of preparations and prerequisites and actions and things to validate after you migrated. Not only things that Wisdom can do, everything for the project. So I think it's an ebook you'll find really interesting. And before we go, Adiascar, I'm just checking if there are any questions here. But Adiascar, before you go, I wanted to say thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thanks.
And actually, you know what? There are questions. Let's have a look at the questions, and then we'll say proper goodbye.
Yeah, and before we get to the questions, I wanted to highlight something that is what I think is amazing about this combination. So with this partnership, we've made it possible for customers to try to get over the fear of the migration, because it's understandable. It's not something that people do every day. So there's a certain apprehension of taking a project like this. So you can do it for free, right? The migration app is open source, and then you have a 7-day free trial. So you can do your migration and then use Wisdom to verify it at no cost. And we're perfectly happy with that. That is, no, you're not going to be cheating. That's what we want. We want to remove barriers. So happy that we got this combination.
Thank you, Adiascar. And yes, I absolutely want to stress this. I've done the hundreds of migrations, like I said before, and one recommendation I would have is always test your migration. Sometimes it will be hard because of your setup. But sometimes you might feel it should not be a complicated one. Well, if you have an empty Tableau cloud site, and you can get a trial Tableau site, you can even get a dev Tableau site for free. Take the migration tool, try to migrate for free, use Wisdom for free. That will give you indication of if this is something you can handle on your own, or maybe you need some external help. But you can absolutely test your migration and do some prep and see how it works at no cost with the app, and even with Wisdom for the 7 days free trial, of course. No, that's a very good point, Adiascar. Thank you. And then Kevin, I would like to say thank you, Kevin, for the question. It says, can it work between Tableau cloud sites? Absolutely. So the demonstration I've done today is Tableau server to Tableau cloud. But now with Tableau cloud, everybody is entitled to 3 sites. So you may choose to have site A for dev, site B for test, another one for prod as an example. If you want to do validation between sites, you can absolutely do this. And we can do validations when Tableau cloud versions updates. So every time there's a technical change based on Tableau or databases, or somebody publish an update and you want to document the differences, lots of different things where Wisdom can help.
Yeah, and to be clear, the migration app migrates to one site at a time. But if you have multiple sites, then you just do that each migration separately.
Absolutely. And then can you schedule migrations? Yes, with Wisdoms. Um, not with the not with a free trial, because obviously there are a complete enterprise features. But if you want to schedule your migration, you can. But if you want to run them manually, there's no problem at all. And for the associated costs, well, I mentioned before, I'll put it back on the screen here. Again, if you want to take advantage of the unlimited regression testing, $500 per user per month. Thank you, Kevin, for the questions.
And again, for the migration app, because we're all coming from our different perspective, and the migration app is completely manual. And then as far as costs associated, as I mentioned before, the migration app is open source, so it's up to you to not only use it for free, but actually you can take it and modify the code and contribute to the migration app, which is something that we are hoping that the community does in the future.
Adiaskar, if you have a couple more minutes, there's a question from Brad, who's asking, you mentioned for smaller deployments at the beginning, and he's asking, can you clarify what this means size-wise for Tableau server customers, and why is it not recommended for larger deployments?
Yeah, and it's just a guidance. So thank you, Brad. First of all, hi, Brad. He's a good friend of mine. Um, it's a guidance that we're providing because obviously the app just came out. It's version 1. It's based on the migration SDK. So it's targeted to a simple migration of workbooks to Tableau Cloud. There are certain contents that the migration SDK doesn't support yet. For example, embedded, or the example we were talking about, multiple sites. You cannot migrate content to multiple sites in a single migration action. You have to like separate it in different actions. So those are the kind of limitations that we don't want to set expectations for customers with more complex environments. Embedded is another example of content that is not migrated. So again, this is more targeted to the smaller customer, more in the small to medium business segment, where they just have a single server implementation and they want to move to a Tableau Cloud site. Other than that, then we encourage our customers to talk to our great migration partners to solve the more complex migration scenarios.
Excellent. Okay. I think that was, I'm having a quick look, but I think it is indeed the end of the questions for today. Adiaskar, well, one more time, thank you for your time today. Thank you for working with us, Wisdom, and always appreciate and always like to do projects like this one with Tableau.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's close this one. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.